So here we are for the State of the Village Address, number 3 for me. First, I want to thank Northbrook businesses. You're going to see throughout the presentation how valuable it is to have a strong and vibrant business community. And I certainly want to thank the Chamber of Commerce for, yet again, hosting this event. More and more, we continue to strengthen our relationship with the Chamber, and I really want to recognize Kathy. She's done such a tremendous job for us. I talk to Kathy maybe once a week, and she's always coming up with ideas. She's definitely a gem for us. I also want to thank the library. Kate Hall, where are you? I don't know where you're. There you are, right there in the back. Kate Hall is an outstanding director. This is a wonderful venue for this. And we had the library board at a village board meeting recently. And the library is a book sanctuary. We hear so much about book banning and even book burning. The village of Northbrook, the library, believes that you should read whatever you want, even though it may be controversial. It helps to read. So there we have it. I would like to introduce the Village Board of Northbrook. We talked about them a little bit. I'm not sure where they all are. I see Dan Papoon here. Heather Ross, I think, is traveling. Bob Israel is here somewhere. There he is in the back. Look at Bob in the back. Jojo Hebel's not here right now. Joy Bomielen is here somewhere. There she is. Michelle Kohler. Michelle Kohler is a new face to the group. Trustee Muriel Collison had to leave us for personal reasons. And boy, oh boy, to have the opportunity to appoint someone in the role of village trustee is daunting. The village board sets policy decisions, and it's the residents of Northbrook who are to elect the person to make policy decisions. But when you make an appointment, you really skip that step, right? The voters don't necessarily have input in that. So we sought out, and we had a public process. We sought applications. We got between 10 and 20 applications for the village board. And Michelle threw her hat in. And Michelle has been elected actually twice before. She's gone through the caucus process. She was a District 28 board member for 2 terms. So Michelle has been vetted by the voters. She has a record. And her background is in marketing and communications, PR. And so I think Michelle fits in very nicely. In addition, she has a perspective for us on the schools. And as we see developments come in, we do really want to take into consideration what our schools think, how they feel. So Michelle really fit that bill nicely. And you're going to see a familiar face here, A.C. Bueller. He's back. Excuse me, A.C., he was a trustee for 6 elected terms. He retired, and then when Debbie Ford, our village clerk, decided to retire, I thought, who can we call on? Who can we call on? Trustee Bueller is a lifelong Northbrook resident. He's just a wonderful person. He's fit for the task. He steps right in. And so Trustee Bueller is now our village clerk. Village staff. Kara Pavlicek, she's our village manager. She's been village manager for probably just as long as I've been village president. We have some new faces here, though. Steve Drasner, he's our CFO. Steve is here somewhere. I saw him. He's wearing a sweater. He's in the back, too. Steve came to us from Oak Park. He has more than 20 years of municipal experience. He's a CPA, and he is a graduate of Northern Illinois University. Jonathan Mendel, where are the Wolverines in the group? Here's Jonathan. Okay, go blue, right? Mark Brodson. I have to say I have a kid that went to Alabama, so we're not so keen on Michigan right now, but because y'all won the national championship, we'll give you a nod. So Jonathan, too, has 20 plus years of experience in development and planning. He's been in Arlington Heights. He's been in Medina, Ohio. Can't remember. Arlington. I said Arlington Heights. Go, give me more.
Hoffman Estates, Clarendon Hills.
There you go. Hoffman Estates, Clarendon Hills. So he's very, very skilled. David Schweiss is our brand new fire chief. He started in November. Dave Schweiss is a veteran of the Navy. And I want to recognize, today we recognize all these politicians, right, who are in the room, but we didn't say anything about the members of our Legion and members of our VFW who are here today. So thank you for that. So Dave Schweiss, he too is a veteran. Dave has held every rank there is to hold in the Northbrook Fire Department. He spent his career here. He started out in Libertyville, and then he said, yeah, Northbrook's a place to be. So he joined us. All right, so today we're going to talk about the big four, let's say. We're going to talk about our economy, because that's what everybody likes to talk about. Development, because that's the fun stuff. Yeah, Northbrook Court is in there, everybody. We're gonna hit on infrastructure, and we're going to talk about community building. So, the Village of Northbrook has an amazing communications team, and they take all of us, and they helped create a story to kick us off.
Every year, Northbrook's narrative unfolds anew. At first glance, the passing of a new year may feel like a whirlwind, but upon closer reflection, the tapestry of countless individual moments emerges. Our story, shaped by diverse opportunities, community pride, and changing circumstances, remains anchored in the bedrock of our culture and traditions. From heart-pounding events that unite us, to the entrepreneurial spirit propelling economic development, Northbrook's thriving landscape is a dynamic blend of long-standing local businesses and the exciting new ventures that began to call Northbrook home in 2023. Regardless of the year, our focus remains steadfast on cultivating a thriving economy while preserving our cherished community values. In Northbrook, we take the art of having fun seriously. Our celebrations bring out the best in us, creating cherished memories that endure. Whether it's hosting your own Flamingo Friday, or joining neighbors for a summer community celebration, or sipping hot cocoa while counting down the lighting of holiday lights downtown during the Illuminate event, Northbrook consistently excels in creating a vibrant and entertaining atmosphere. The veins of our community, our infrastructure, and commitment to public safety serve as the lifeblood that binds us together, powering our everyday existence. Through collective investment, we ensure its strength, thanks to the dedicated individuals maintaining its integrity. Ultimately, it's our values that define Northbrook for those who visit, and of course, those who call this wonderful place home. For 2024, our commitment persists, striving to foster our economically vibrant community, seated in our collective values, where we embrace environmental stewardship and place the highest importance on public safety and infrastructure, where we continue to celebrate together, nurture our culture and artistic connections, and foster a safe and inclusive haven for residents and visitors from all walks of life.
How about that? So let's start out and let's talk about our economy. I gave you some of these numbers last year, but it's helpful to maybe look at them a little bit again. We're well above the Illinois average with respect to income. We're pretty dead on the U.S. average with respect to the number of vehicles and people per household. But I think is an interesting factor is we have more than 65% of our residents have bachelor's degrees compared to the national average of about 38%. This is a slide I want you to remember as we continue to talk. The average home price, Carolyn Gow, one of our outstanding realtors and social media professionals in the Village of Northbrook, she's going to tell you, probably agree, that the average sales price of a house in Northbrook is $560,000. But if you look at the Illinois average, you're at about $250,000. So we're set well above that number. One of the reasons we're such a healthy community economically is because we have a tremendous sales tax base. Even Northbrook Court, the way it is today, is still the big dog when it comes to Northbrook sales tax at about $3 million a year. Last year, I came to you and I talked to you, it was about 3.1, 3.2. We're just under $3 million a year now. We're gonna fix that. Property taxes. Again, the reason we can keep property taxes low is because we have a great sales tax base. In 21, 22, and 23, we didn't increase property taxes at all. 2024, the village board agreed to raise property taxes by 1%. To the average family, that's $5 to $10 more a year. That's it. What does that $217,000 get us? It helps us protect those who protect us. We have firefighters, we have police officers who work 24/7 or on call 24/7. Their vacations are canceled sometimes to work for us. They come into dangerous situations. They go into our homes. They help us when we absolutely need help. So we make sure that we take care of them with respect to pension funding. One of the nicest things I think happens is that when we swear in a firefighter or a police officer, they come to the village board. They come and their family comes. Sometimes it's their kids, their parents, their spouses, and they're introduced to the community and their badge is pinned on them at a meeting. And I think it's a great opportunity for us to look at that, look at the families, and really demonstrate a commitment to the officer, the firefighter, and their families that we will take care of them because they're taking care of us. So historically, see this little guy here, he's not so happy because he's treading water. Historically, the village board has funded pensions at the tread water level. The actuary tells us, hey, this is where you need to be, this is the minimum contribution, and that's what we were doing. And that was levied as part of our property taxes. So 5 years ago or so, we said, look, we need to do a little bit more. So as we raised our ambulance fees, we took that additional portion of that increase in the cost of the ambulance fees, and we dedicated that as a source of funds to contribute toward pensions. And you know what? It's still not enough. We need to be fully funded by 2030. So this year, our village board has said, look, historically, we don't spend as much as we take in. We budget to do it, but sometimes bids come in lower or positions aren't filled 100% of the time, so we do have extra money. So we're taking $2 million of our surplus and we're contributing to pensions. So we're going to be contributing $12 million to pensions this year for police and firefighters to make certain we get those fully funded. But how do we compare to everybody else? Property tax-wise, we're doing great. We're very low compared to several other communities around. So again, that's because we have such a robust sales tax collection and a robust retail community. We do more than that, though. Kelly Hamill, our Director of Public Works, I don't know where you are, but we apply for grants, and we get money for grants for road projects and other activities. So we're at about $8 million now for projects going forward with grants. Okay, development, here it comes, you guys. All right, so the village board every other Tuesday meets, and a whole bunch of what we did last year in 23 was approve 23 developments. Now some projects come in as a matter of right. So DPS staff issued 900 permits. This ranges from redoing your driveway, putting solar panels on your roof, to building a Tesla dealership. That's all included there. But the one number I really want you to hone in on is that $111 million. Residents and businesses invested $111 million in our community last year. How does that compare? Boom. We are on the rise. And I think that says a lot about the community, about where we live, about where we work, and where we choose to be. One of the things that I've said to you 3 years in a row is that I can't stand when people say Northbrook is not welcoming to businesses. Northbrook is difficult to work with respect to development. This village board has set out to change that perception, and it's working. But I don't want you to take my word for it. Listen to what developers are saying.
My name is Chris Sims. I'm the CEO and founder of Lazy Dog Restaurants. We started the company about 20 years ago, and really what I wanted to do is I wanted to create the next generation of casual dining. So I wanted to create a restaurant that was family friendly, very approachable, very affordable, but at the same time offered handcrafted food and drink, a great eclectic American inspired menu, and then did so with small town hospitality. I spent a lot of time in Jackson Hole, Wyoming as a kid, and I wanted to bring those experiences to our guests. So there's a really cool Jackson Hole theme that is associated with Lazy Dog. We opened our first restaurant in the Chicago area in Vernon Hills, and since then we've opened in Naperville and Oak Brook. And the welcome that we've gotten from the communities has just been so incredible. And so immediately we said we need to continue looking for other locations within the Chicago area, and Northbrook was a perfect opportunity. My dad actually was born just south of Northbrook, so that's one of the reasons why we came to Chicago, is because he had all these great memories of growing up here. I think we have about 6 months left of construction, and then we'll open up. The village has been fantastic. I mean, Northbrook has been responsive. They've approved things quickly. Ultimately, as a business owner, it's hard enough to open a restaurant, and it's so fantastic to be able to find a community that's welcoming for business, and that's definitely what we've felt with Northbrook.
Napolita started in 2015 in downtown Wilmette, just after we've had several restaurants in Chicago, and we just saw the need for amazing Neapolitan restaurants, and we wanted to keep our concept in the suburbs, and we just been getting a lot of feedback from people in Wilmette that are coming from Highland Park, Glencoe, and some of the other more northern suburbs, and they're like, when are you going to come further north? And here we are. We just think Northbrook has a great charm. We're very lucky to have acquired the space, and we're very excited to open the patio this spring. We've got an outdoor bar, we've got cabanas. It's going to be a great patio, and it's beautiful downtown Northbrook, and we just love the space and being here. And definitely being right next to the metro is a huge draw for people coming home from work. They want to get a glass of wine, a charcuterie board, whatever that might be. We're right here. Neapolitan pizza is a very different pizza, so it's not going to be a traditional New York pizza. It's not going to be a traditional Chicago deep style pizza. So coming here with a very different expectation, because our pizza is truly authentic. The way that it's made in Naples, very soft in the center, crispy crust on the outside, very simple ingredients, so it's not going to be the typical pizza that you're used to everywhere else. Our oven is what makes Napolita what it is. It's a beautiful masterpiece from Italy. Pizzas cook at 90 seconds, 800 degrees. Don't be surprised if you sit down and you order, your pizzas come out before your drinks, because the pizzas are really, it's quicker to make a pizza here than it is to make an espresso martini. We can't wait to see it.
We think Tesla made a lot of sense for Northbrook, and Northbrook made a lot of sense for Tesla. The regionality of the site, the other amenities that are already within a very short distance, like access to the highway system, access to the state highway system, and Lifetime Fitness being a major draw throughout all of the North Shore communities. This was a place where it just made sense, where the values of the community matched the values of the brand, of the retailer we were looking to try and find a home for. So those two things came together really nicely on a site that we think is going to be visible, we think will be a part of the community, and anybody who drives up and down Skokie is going to see for a long time to come.
The truth is that staff, village president, village manager, everyone's super cooperative and helpful, and while the process is lengthy and does take diligence, it went really well, and we weren't surprised by anything. We were able to navigate the waters and I think succeed collectively, which is huge.
From the moment we kind of brought this vision to the leadership of Northbrook, they did what they said they were going to do. And to Justin's point, it did take a lot of diligence to get through the process, but it's a very fair process and a super professional staff, which makes developing in Northbrook a place that I think we'd like to do again.
Yeah.
So changing the narrative, big deal. And I think this is a great lineup, right? So we've seen Starbucks at Shermer and Waukegan open. Napolita, you just saw, is open. Tesla's coming in the summer. Lazy Dog will be open in the summer. And then Toyota would be finished in the summer and will open as well. How about Sanders Court? How many people have thought, holy cow, that old Dominic's is an eyesore? Well, yes, me too. So Dominic's, if you've been by there, you've seen their construction fencing is already up. We're going to get a Vasa Fitness. Vasa Fitness, I've not seen one around. They do have them in Illinois. Maybe they're in 8 to 10 states. It's I think a pretty good price point. It looks like their membership started about $10 a month. And there's a lot of different amenities within the facility. So I think it'll be something nice. They're going to do things to improve the facade, and it will certainly fill that mall and leave us with Dominic's in the dust. All right, Northbrook Court, here it is. Here it is. Okay, so Northbrook Court. Remember that bicentennial quarter? When I was a kid, I just thought that was the coolest thing. 1976 is when Northbrook Court opened. It's an inward-facing mall, and it has 5,000 parking spaces. And those commercials, it's not your father's Buick. I had a Buick. I loved it. It was my favorite car. But they don't build malls like this anymore. Malls now are destinations. There's a lot of entertainment. There's a lot of residential connected to a mall. So Northbrook Court, let's say, is perhaps obsolete. And even with that, it's still our #1 sales tax provider. At its height, Northbrook Court was cooking at $4 million a year. $6 million a year, thank you. Losing my mind. $6 million a year. Property taxes today, District 28 gets $2.25 million, and District 225 gets about $1.7 million a year for no students. To lose this mall would be very difficult for us, not only for us, but for our school partners. So the village board had an opportunity. And the opportunity was, how do we take this large internally facing mall, surrounding by all these parking fields, and turn it into a vibrant, walkable, mixed-use neighborhood? Very challenging. The good news is that in about 2019, we had a plan. And we had worked out with Northbrook Court that there would be some kind of improvement to the mall. That's why the Macy's came down, and they talked about some investment there. And then, of course, COVID happened, so nothing happened. But Northbrook Court didn't want to lose the opportunity, and we didn't want to let them go. So I have probably taken more meetings with anybody, but actually, let me say this right away. Northbrook Court, I've taken the most meetings with Northbrook Court. We had meetings, I don't even think Manager Pavlicek was fully sworn in, and I was talking to her about Northbrook Court. We got to get this thing going. The village board will not lose Northbrook Court. So we used that 2019 agreement, And we kept extending it, and we kept extending it with the hope that we're going to be able to figure something out. So we got together again with our partners, District 225, District 28, and Brookfield Properties, the owner of the mall, and figured, how are we going to come up with an incentive agreement that makes it advantageous for everyone, continues giving our schools property tax money, continues giving us sales tax money, invests in our future, and makes it feasible for Brookfield to really make an investment. So while we approved an incentive agreement in November of 2023, we probably were working on this for 18 months or 2 years. What it looks like is we took the 2019 TIF and we replaced that with a brand new TIF that covered the entirety of the mall. We established a business district. This is what Old Orchard has done. So Brookfield wanted us to implement that 1% sales tax just for the Northbrook Court area to help finance the development. This will go into effect July 2025. In trade, Brookfield said, we're going to invest nearly $1 billion in this. It's going to be an outdoor shopping, retail, dining, entertainment experience right at the front. Neiman Marcus will stay where it is, but all along Lake Cook Road is where we're going to see the retail. And guess what? Construction is going to start this year. It's been approved. They're working on the engineering this year. The retail is going to open in 2026. In addition to that, we're going to create a neighborhood around the mall. Street landscaping, native plantings, public art, green space, connectivity, seating and dining, outdoor dining. We're going to have parking, utilities screened, so it's pleasant. Of course, we're going to address stormwater management. Trustee Israel is making sure of that. Phase 1, we're going to have 750 units of housing, and 100 of those units are going to be workforce housing. Meaning, remember I showed you that slide where it says that the average home price is $560,000 in Northbrook, but in the state of Illinois, $250,000. I have 2 kids. One is in college, one just graduated college, and I'd love my kids to move back. But at $560,000, not going to happen. But if we have housing that's more affordable, I know that our kids will be able to move back. I know that teachers, firefighters, police officers will be able to live here because they can afford to live here. In addition to that, the developer is giving the Village of Northbrook 1.5 acres to build additional units of housing, and $4.5 million as a fee in lieu of building units on site for affordable housing. So there will be some units on site, and then we'll have some money to acquire housing elsewhere throughout the community or to offer programs to help folks afford to live here. They're also going to give us 1 acre where we can build a fire station. Northbrook currently has 3. We're going to talk about some statistics, and as we move along, that at some point we're going to need a 4th. Okay, so that's Northbrook Court. Former Green Acres Country Club. We've talked about several different things for Green Acres. I've taken several meetings on that, and the village board has looked at a few things. The most interesting and I think most beneficial for the community is the proposal that's on the table today. In fact, the Village of Northbrook has entered into an agreement. It's a non-binding agreement with the Cook County Forest Preserve and the owner of Green Acres. What they would like to do is the Forest Preserve will acquire a substantial piece of the property and keep it as a preserve, much like Chippewa Woods. So it will continue to be open space in perpetuity. And that would be closest to the west portion of the property. In the back corner, adjacent to the highway, would be a data center. A data center is the cloud, essentially. And it would be no impact on the schools, very low number of employees, and it would be right there in the back. And then right up in the front, hopefully, they've agreed to donate land to the village of Northbrook, upon which we would build a brand new fire station number 11. So right now, that's what it's looking like, and that's what we hope it will be. And the preliminary feedback we've received from the neighbors is very positive. So let's talk about the former Granger site. I had hoped we would be digging right now. I had hoped we'd have no building, or no Granger building, and we'd be building these buildings. Unfortunately, the economy has hit the developer in that the price of money is expensive, the price of construction is expensive. They're invested in the project, they're committed to the project, but they need to wait for interest rates to go down. And that's what we've heard from them. But the good news is that on the first try, the state of Illinois has granted the developer of the supportive housing piece full financing. So that project is ready to go. So we're going to make sure that happens. Okay, infrastructure. Okay, so last year I gave you some fun facts. One of the fun facts was that how many fire hydrants we have in the village. Well, today I'm going to tell you that these are a whole bunch of fun facts, and I'm not going to go through them, but we have 190 miles of sidewalks in the village. Did anybody go to Iowa? Here? University of Iowa? Caitlin Clark? Here. No? Yes? No? All right. You can get to the University of Iowa with your 190 miles. For the second year in a row, Northbrook has had a snowplow naming contest, and Plowly McPlowface won. So we have that. And believe it or not, we have 17,000 parkway trees. In 2021, we had around 15,000. So Public Works is doing a pretty good job getting that accomplished. And how about this? Northbrook is the only inland community in the Chicago area that gets water directly from Lake Michigan. So the water treatment plant, there's a pipe that goes all the way down Dundee Road, straight out into Lake Michigan. And that's how we get our water. We have 12,000 retail customers. We produce, or we sell 1.6 billion gallons of water annually. So those 12,400 and some water customers are all going to get digital water meters. It's going to take us 3 years to change out 12,000 water meters, but we're going to start in April of this year. September of this year. So you'll be able to monitor your water use on your phone with an app, and hopefully this will help in our sustainability efforts. This is a grant project. This was on that other slide. $185,000 grant from RTA, built the bike shelter there at the train station. Cherry Lane Underpass, we redid that. That was an ahead of schedule project. So the big three. Fire station number 11. Wow. Fire station number 11 is the fire station that's on Dundee Road. It's absolutely obsolete. It's interesting as all get out to go in there, but it's located too close to it's too close to the train tracks, too close to our water main, which is dangerous for a whole bunch of reasons. We don't have appropriate living quarters. You can imagine, as it was built in 1971, men were firefighters exclusively in 1971. So now that we are gender inclusive, we don't have adequate quarters for women. And then our department headquarters and our emergency management center is there. But as luck would have it, just over a little bit, we may be getting some land on that Green Acres site where we can build a brand new fire station. Our police station That too is obsolete. Our booking, fingerprinting, and jail areas are outdated. We're grandfathered in. You'd never build it the way it's built now. There are some safety issues. There's staffing, kind of location issues. We have 4 people sharing one office in our counseling department. So we don't have adequate space there. So we're going to get another police station sometime soon. And our fleet maintenance garage, which is actually behind Village Hall. It's just right out that way. You can go by. That was built in 1956. Well, our large equipment, our big fire trucks, they don't fit in there. So if you go by sometimes, you'll see our mechanics working on those machines half in and half out of the garage. So we really do need a new fleet maintenance garage. We are aggressively moving toward getting those things done. Right now, we're on step 3. We're looking for sites. We're looking to design and construct new facilities. All right, community building. These 4 events are events that are long-standing. We have a great relationship with Civic. We love working with the farmers market. But one thing we heard, especially coming out of COVID, is that the villagers want more events. So post-COVID, we've added 4 more. We have the Northbrook Grand Prix, which is our bike race. We've got the Brew Fest and Grapes on the Green, which are events we do in conjunction with the Park District that are really well received. And then we have our Illuminate Northbrook event. And I give a real big shout out to Rotary there. We have these little collectible mugs that you can get at this event. And all you need to do is bring a coat and donate a coat. Over the last 3 years, Rotary has collected more than 1,000 coats in partnership with us during this event, and we couldn't do it without them. And how about this? Who's seen it? Yeah? Where's Carrie? Carrie Luck. Is she here somewhere? There she is, right in the back. Now, Carrie's better half, other half, better half. She's the better half. But Carrie's husband is a longtime Northbrook resident. And for a really long time, we've had just this blank wall. And who doesn't love art, right? Who doesn't love public art? And if you just look at it, it kind of makes you smile, right? Maybe it's Save Ferris, maybe it's Four Seasons, maybe it's birds, but it's just wonderful. So I promised y'all, I said, hold me to it during my first speech, my first State of the Village, but finally, we got it done. And we're going to budget for another one in this coming year. So we're looking for another one. So we're going to continue to have public art, and just it's a great community building endeavor. CAP, we talk about sustainability. We have a climate action plan, and there's a lot of low-hanging fruit. There's a lot of stuff we can do and implement and make little changes that don't cost us a lot of money. So right now we have 82% of our initiatives in our climate action plan in process. Okay, one of the things that we did January 1 is we implemented a bag tax, but I'm going to say we're going to call it a reusable bag program because that's really what it is. What is our goal? Our goal is to reduce the impact of single-use bags on our environment. But ultimately, and I kid you not, we don't want to collect a penny from this. We just want folks to change habits. We just want folks to take their bags to the grocery store instead of getting new bags and throwing them out. All you do is you either bring your bags to the store or you go in and you get charged 10 cents per single-use bag. And guess what? The village takes 5 cents and the store gets 5 cents. And they can use it for whatever they want. We're going to use our 5 cents to promote sustainable initiatives. Where do you get the bags? You can get them at Village Hall. We've partnered with different organizations in the community, and we've given out more than 9,000 reusable bags to residents. And they're branded with Rotary, Northbrook Blue Hawks, different, maybe the chamber. The chamber, there you go. So different organizations are helping us with those initiatives. And I do want to mention that the Shed Aquarium is very supportive of communities who employ a sustainable bag program and a reusable bag program, and the Shed has given us a nod, so we certainly appreciate that. So our fire department, we have 70 sworn firefighters in our department, and there's our chief, of course. With respect to our calls, 63% are EMS calls, 63% are our ambulance calls, 27% are fire, and 10% are lift assists, people who fall and just need help getting up. We have a 4% increase in calls over last year. We have 21 calls a day. So as you look at these numbers, understand that we see us going up 15% over the last 5 years, and that's why that fire station, that 4th station at Northbrook Court is going to come into play. With respect to our police officers, we have 66 police officers, but we have different kind of staffing in our police department. We have civilians that assist in big ways. One of the things that I love to talk about are the 4 full-time social workers we have at our police department. Think about it. There's so much that goes on. Sometimes the police are called out to a particular home repeatedly, and we have folks who try to mitigate, who try to get residents help, to point people in the right direction so things don't escalate. If you've seen the news, you know that the state of Illinois passed legislation that requires officers to wear body cams. And so the village of Northbrook is going to roll out a pilot program in the spring of this year with respect to body cams. Now this is provided we get the equipment. Everybody in the state of Illinois is ordering equipment, so we're hoping to get it to implement the pilot program in the spring. And by the summer of '24, you're going to see all of our officers with the body cameras. Now, last year, we talked about officers that do tremendous things. How about Detective Matthew Plasek? We had, our community and other communities had received several bomb threats. And Officer Plasek worked with multiple departments to catch the bad guy. So not only did he did that, but the American Legion is tremendous in that they recognize police officers on an annual basis. And for the second time in his career, he received the Legion Officer of the Year award. With respect to Officer Bujak, he was here last year on the screen. He's a great smile, right, guys? Last year, he had gone to Home Goods on a call. Someone needed life-saving efforts, and he saved them. This year, he did it again. Like, we need this guy with us all the time. He uses AED, CPR, and he saved a resident's life. Last year, I told you we were expecting. And so, of course, we still have Chloe. We still have Pongo. But we got Bob. Now, don't let his charming name fool you. He catches bad guys. He sniffs out trouble. And so Bob is the newest member of the team. And now I've talked about the police. I've talked about the fire department because they have all the cool toys. Not necessarily toys, but they're pretty cool. I want to talk about the other members of the team. IT. Lori Baker is here somewhere. She's also in the back. I kind of viewed you as a front of the class kind of girl. No? Okay. Woman. Sorry, don't mean to. So Lori Baker is head of IT. She does a tremendous job. If you can imagine, cyber attacks are just all over the place. These phishing emails, spam emails. She protects us in just tremendous ways. And every police car is its own mobile office. And we use technology in such sophisticated ways, and she's absolutely on top of it, she and her team. So I need to recognize IT. Finance. The Village of Northbrook is, plans ahead, does really well economically. And I do want to give finance a nod, certainly. Public Works, Kelly Hamill. Did anybody take a shower this morning? Because I'm going to give Kelly credit for that. I mean, they clear the roads. The water's going. They just do a wonderful job. And Kelly is one of the most creative guys out there. Those lights in the Village Green for Illuminate, he's the master behind all that. Development and planning. Development and planning is the first line when people call Northbrook wanting to come in. They are the face of the community in many, many ways. And I got to give it to them, because we would not change the narrative. We would not be changing the narrative about Northbrook being welcoming if it weren't for the outstanding job that development and planning is doing. And then, I'm so sorry, you guys, a little sick. Village manager's office, they're the glue. They're the glue. HR, communications, negotiating with unions, managing all of it, being a liaison between the village board and the policy decisions and the staff. The village manager's office is absolutely outstanding. So we couldn't do it without any of these kind of behind the scenes departments. And then one of the things that's the toughest, right, is to ask people, hey, really, what do you think of us? Boy, I mean, you're going to get some real answers, right? So for the first time ever, we took part in a national community survey and said to the villagers, residents, what do you really think? What kind of job are we doing? And we literally just got the results prior to putting this all together. So in February, we're going to really release the results. But just 3 top ones. 90% of people said that we do an excellent or good job with customer service. So I have to say, we are turning the tide. Our economic health, 90% of residents believe it's positive. And public safety, 90% believe we're excellent or good. So very pleased with those results. But in February, we're going to release all the data. And then don't leave this building without going upstairs to the 2nd floor. We had Bradley Floden, a Northbrook photographer. He went and he spent the day with our fire department and a day with our police department. And he has some outstanding photography upstairs. Please go upstairs and take a look. It's really wonderful. There are candid shots and really gives you some insight into our first responders. So I would say thank you. Thank you for bearing with my congestion.